It's so strange seeing all these parking lots empty when people live in all these apartments. Only a few are staying, or either that or they just left their car because they maybe have more than one car and could only drive one out of here for some reason. That's also possible. You can see our parking lot in the center here. It kind of floods naturally when it's raining. It's only been raining light to moderately since before I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. This is kind of a bad start because the hurricane is still, like the real part of the hurricane, this is really outer residual bands of rain. The real part when you get the bad winds and heavier rain is still at least 12 hours, no, 10 hours now away. It's hard to say because it'll be here for a while. But see, it's these drains that flood up when we get storm surge, but it needs to be 6 feet of storm surge for the drains and our ponds start to come up. See a great blue heron down there ruffling its feathers, enjoying the rain. The birds love the rain. They don't have any problem with this. But I have parked my car in a parking garage up on the 4th floor, so there's no way that is going to get any kind of damage. It's inside a cement enclosed part of the parking garage. Bit of a wind gust here now. Most umbrellas probably would have blown out, but I have a very, very excellent umbrella that has never blown out and is being very tested right now. At this point, we're supposed to be getting winds and gusts around 19 miles an hour. And unfortunately, I have to walk all the way to the end of this straightaway and then turn right and walk a little bit more before I'm home. But actually, there is a shortcut that I'm gonna kind of cut triangular diagonal. Oh, see a little bit of small branches just come down occasionally when the wind blows a bit. But we have nothing serious happening yet. I'm very, very happy that I did see a City of Tampa garbage truck drive by the main road here to my left. I don't know if they picked up everybody's debris from Helene yet. I was able to look down one side street that I know previously only had, let's just take a look at this pond. Tree leaves are already getting dipped in the water, so you know that pond is higher than it normally is. Our ponds really are just kind of at the very top end of their normal range that we get throughout the year. So that is kind of a bad spot to be starting from in terms of the amount of rain that we're supposed to get in the next 24 hours. I don't think those ponds are going to flood though unless they also get storm surge. Like they're quite deep ponds. But yeah, I don't know if the City of Tampa has picked up everybody's big like furniture debris from Helene, because a lot of our house is on the left side of this main road where you hear cars going by over there. They are on lower elevation than this parking lot by 1 to 2 feet. And those 1 to 2 feet made all the difference between their houses flooding and our apartments not flooding. We only just got a few inches in this parking lot. And that storm surge was not coupled with any rain. That's an important point. We didn't have hardly any rain during Helene, and it hadn't rained for several hours when the storm surge came. So the water we got was entirely from storm surge before, whereas now we will have, as you can see, rainwater and accumulation of that rainwater in addition to storm surge. I want to show you one more dangerous water thing coming up here. There's a ravine. Wind's changed direction. Got to put that umbrella more in front of me all of a sudden. When I started this video, the wind was coming from behind me. And now there's no wind. But there's a ravine here. So if we do get a ton of rain and it drains through all the neighborhoods to our left, the way that water's got to get out of their neighborhood is to come through ravines like this one that empty out into Tampa Bay. These are also susceptible, of course, to having storm surge back up into them. So you can see the water level in the ravine right now is already looking quite high, but of course it can get much higher and higher really before those units are impacted. That's several feet of elevation between the current water level and what would be needed to reach their door. And you can see how this road floods quite easily. This is the main road that we go in and out, and a lot of other people too. That is only, what, 2.5, 3 feet until it floods the sidewalk. And then you gotta look, the sidewalk's actually like a foot lower than the road. Well, maybe not a foot, half a foot. But now instead of walking to the end of this lot, I can cut the triangle by going through the walkways here. That'll also give me a bit more wind protection from the roads. Ooh, there's a gust. Keep it hunkered down. So good to see. Only one car in this whole, oh, 2 cars, 3? Okay, 3 cars in this whole parking lot. That's very good to see because it is very susceptible to flooding. Even if people are staying in their homes, at the very least, they should not leave their car in this lot to get flooded. We are almost back to my place, and now I want to show you my pond and areas that flooded before. It is very unusual behavior to see our 2 white ducks and group of mallard ducks over in this area at this time of day. You can see actually this is super waterlogged already. That is really not good. I mean, this is the kind of flooding that this area sees when we get a heavy rain. Despite that we haven't had a heavy rain, we've just had a lot of little rain off and on for really the last 2 full days. So everything is super saturated before this hurricane hits us. That's gonna make, look at that, picnic area is already going under. We already have water and sand piling up here. There is normally a little bit of sand here, but this is more than normal what we see. It's like a beach right here sometimes. It's about the worst I've really ever seen it, except for during Helene. This whole area was underwater during Helene. But like I said, we didn't have this prior accumulation last time. If we only get rain accumulation and no storm surge, that will be fine, I think, for us. Of course, not for everybody. But this pond is definitely already at its max. You can see those like greeneries in more water than they would normally be because they wouldn't be growing in that spot if they were normally in that deep. There you can see on this one grass in water that it shouldn't be in. So that's the current situation. Pond is already at its maximum level that it should be at if we were at a normal time of year. Not a good place to be starting. I'm also concerned about this area, see how much it floods, because my air conditioning unit for my unit is the 3rd one in there. Let's get in this spot so I can put the umbrella away. Yes. Okay, now I don't have to worry about my umbrella going inside out, and it's miraculous that it didn't that whole time. But I am a bit worried about my air conditioner flooding and sitting in stagnant deep water. I did measure my air conditioning flood zone. It would take 6.5 inches of water in that spot before it got flooded up to the electronics, at which point I'm going to be monitoring that so I can cut the power or turn off my air conditioning, I mean, if that is sitting in water, because I don't want that to short out and make me not have any air conditioning. We lost some of these palm fronds during Helene, and I can't believe that dead brown one is still attached this whole time. You can see our fountain normally is quite tall and straight, but it's like a windsock. Whenever the wind blows, we can tell how strongly it's blowing and what direction based on how the fountain bends. You can also see clouds there. That's how the real sky looks. They are moving fast. It's actually remarkably quick clouds. So this is just the very beginning of Hurricane Milton. Stay tuned for more.